how do you begin to explain what happened out on the pitch there today?
Without swearing. So, first half, we actually created good chances. We put the ball into dangerous areas. We caused them a few problems. To be fair to them, they were resolute and strong, but I felt we had good opportunities to test the keeper, to take the lead. Keeper's made a couple of good saves in all fairness, but out of those 12 shots that we've had in the first half, 4 are on target, and that's not enough ratio. Then when it comes down to the other end, where we've had to defend, we've been unfortunately weak, poor, and we've enabled them to take a lead, which then has given them the impetus to kind of hold on to that lead as much as possible. And the longer that first half went on, I felt that we still had a lot of good options, a lot of positive attacking football where we could threaten. So at half time, I wasn't too disappointed. I was very disappointed with the goal. That's awful defending. We've been too open, and look, without naming names, it's just poor. So half time, we've had the conversation about, look, just keep doing what you're doing as far as attacking, but be fully focused defensively, because they're going to be happy to defend. They're going to be happy to play the ball long and try and catch us on the counter. So we still need to be strong, and obviously the time that we've conceded and in the way that we've conceded, we've gifted them, the second goal, from having the ball in our own area to giving it away, to then still having the opportunity to clear our lines when we have a poor. And then from then, you just see a complete lack of desire, energy, endeavour, all the things that should be a given as far as a Kettering Town player. And it's unforgivable, really, with what we gave after that. So then on the side, you start to lose a little bit of confidence in some of the players and faith, where these are the guys that you're relying on to actually pull things together. And unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. Long Eaton smelt blood, and and again, third goal was similar to the first goal in the way that they've managed to score, and it's extremely disappointing. I can't come out and say exactly what I want to say. I'm being professional, but it's they've got to face and front it. I don't want anyone going straight off. Get in the bark, go and face it and front it, because too many times we've shirked accountability and responsibility this season, and it's about time now you feel the rap for that and understand how much it means to many people, and it's time that they started feeling that as well.
Without being disrespectful to Long Eaton, when you looked at the fixtures coming up, this is probably a game you were looking at to pick up 3 points from. Did you feel maybe the players went out there expecting that the win was already done and dusted from the first whistle?
When you looked at those fixtures, Hitchin, Bromsgrove and Long Eaton, we looked at that as a management team and thought, look, we need to be pushing for 7 points here at least. Maybe a point away at Hitchin would have been a good one, and then we want to win our home games. Winning away at Hitchin gave us maybe a little bit more belief, and maybe some of them felt, okay, that puts us more in the driving seat. But again, look, we will not set up as a management team to say this is a given. It's always, you've got to be fully focused to, not let that happen, what's essentially happened today. And it's a worry, because, if you don't say it, then you almost leave it open for them to get done. If you do say it, you want them to be mindful and take control of that. There's not enough people to take control in that team of those situations at the moment. And I don't want to be going into games between now and the end of the season where we potentially have to defend like lions and rely on a bit of counter-attack. We have some good players in there. We're a big club. These players have got to play like they're at a big club. At the moment, they're playing like they're in a small club, bottom of a division, and they're happy to share responsibility. from today, that ain't going to happen again, as far as those players putting in that kind of performance, because we can't find that acceptable. And I'm not talking about necessarily first half necessarily. I'm talking about the second half, the way it happened, the way we just let them open us up, and not good enough.
You've pointed to it over the last couple of games, and I know the fans definitely on social media have picked up on it, about the inability to put in a performance over 90 minutes. Bromsgrove, it was poor first half, very good second half. Today it was good first half, poor second half. How do you start to go about trying to get some consistency, not over games, just within the same game from this team?
Yeah. So you could. So many people say it. Don't change a winning team. Don't change your shape. Don't do this. Don't do that. We haven't got the players to maintain that consistency, so we have to change the team, change the shape, rotate. We need to keep everybody away from complacent, because you would have seen players in the last two games maybe have one good game, one bad game, one good half, one bad half. Again, exactly the same today. And that's down to the individual to find it within them, to find that consistency. Everybody's got to thrive for that consistency. It can't just be one or two, because if nobody else is doing that extra bit of legwork to get into positions, to force the issue, then other people aren't going to give it their all as well. So it's just massively disappointing when you get a good group of players that are good footballers, but it's a fair case of I would much rather right now, and I'm sure everyone watching that would much rather have 10, 11 warriors than good footballers, and that's what we're lacking.
Just talking on personnel, obviously at the start of the season, under different management, and you kept some consistency with it. Rhys Sharp was the vice captain for the club, obviously with Storer out. Rhys Sharp started today, but Lewis White came out with the armband on.
Yeah.
Are you able to explain that to us?
Yeah. So again, Gal's being captain, being out, Sharpie was always the vice captain. I don't feel that Sharpie necessarily in the position that he plays is in a position where I feel a captain should be. I prefer them within the spine. We didn't want to give it to Langers, because Langers is assistant manager anyway, and obviously Foz would normally have it as defensive midfielder, who's vocal and plays that role very well. So we opted to give it to Whitey, just because he gives us that little bit of fight. And probably from Tuesday, he was unfortunate with the tackle. He showed a bit of fight, and usually he does. Unfortunately, today, whether it was the armband or whether it was just a poor performance and off day, but it didn't really help him. Sharpie's fine. Sharpie's fine with it in that position. I feel that Sharpie needs to just concentrate on his own performance. And look, an armband shouldn't affect anyone. If it does, then they've got a problem. They should be playing step 5 if they're going to sulk about it. He didn't, which is great. But look, captain aside, there's some performance in it. I want 11 captains. I want armband regardless. Everyone needs to be a captain. It's very clear today that there wasn't enough people that are like that. And again, that's a worry.
Slight positive. Obviously, I know you won't be feeling that positive. It remains, due to other results, that we are still 5 points outside the relegation zone. But what can you say to fans that may be standing out on the terraces today or watching on social media that are starting, or maybe already are, getting worried about the back end of this season?
Look, I'm no different to what I was before Nuneaton went. We want to win every single game. We set up people right and we prepare right. I think there's slight tweaks that we want to make now to try and get out of this, getting stuck into this negative mindset again and putting in performances like that. So there'll be work that we'll be doing, but as far as what the fans are thinking and what they need, we are 100% focused on doing the right thing for the football club and to benefit them. Unfortunately, the players aren't giving that at the minute, and that's down to me. But that won't be happening again. We are in a better position now, squad-wise, to change it quite comfortably. nobody is a shoe-in to play. No one's knocking on my door now saying, Gaffer, I think I deserve to start every week. Some players within that have been unlucky. Luca Miller's been unlucky. Spoke to Luca before today. I want Luca to be coming into a side that isn't relying on him. He should just be coming in to add to the jigsaw pieces. But that's how meagre some of those performances are. Luca probably would come in there and make us 100 times better now. And he's an 18-year-old kid that responsibility shouldn't fall on his shoulders. And there's probably 2 or 3 in there that have done okay still. But there's too many that are lacking that consistency, and it's that consistency that's a worry, and it kind of takes you into Telford thinking, it's almost like we'll get a good performance at Telford, because that is the reality of what we've got, and that mindset is, maybe they thought they could win today quite easily, and it was shown that, I'm glad if they thought that. If our players thought it was going to be an easy turn-up, then I'm glad they got shown a lesson.
It doesn't get any easier than going to Telford next week. It's a big week for you and the team now, isn't it? There's 2 training sessions at least, Tuesday, Thursday. This is a big week now, isn't it, for you and the players?
Look, it's the same week. Like I said, nothing changes. The game on the Saturday, regardless of who it's against, it will be prepared in the same or similar way. But training will be different for them. They won't want to lose again to Long Eaton at home or whoever it is at home in the way that we did. The reaction now is needed, and we need to show some fight and determination. At the end of the day, it's a football match that we've lost, but it's a football match that, based on being unbeaten in 2, is an opportunity for us to maintain and grow that. And if there's not enough players in there that want that, it's about time that they started showing that they do. So, we'll see what this week brings.
Jim, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.